is going on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows here, and we are doing another Final Fantasy deck profile. I don't know why I had to sing it, but I'm in a good mood, so we sang it. Today we are talking about a deck that is making the rounds in the Final Fantasy TCG. It is the MBM deck. If you do not know, Square Enix has a board game where you play as the Moogles of Final Fantasy 12. It is called Moogle Bounty Mayhem. So, Moogle Bounty Mayhem is now in the Final Fantasy TCG, and it is a deck that revolves around, well, having characters of the MBM category. So let's talk about the deck. It features some of your favorite Final Fantasy 12 characters, and we are going to look at it. So this is a very weird deck for me. I have so many backups and not a lot of forwards. It is very weird, but we're going to have a look and we're going to talk about it. This deck does a lot of searching for category MBM characters, so having a little bit less forwards I think is okay. So starting off, we have 3 copies of Bosch. Bosch is a judge from MBM, also Final Fantasy 12, but in this game, in this one, he is the MBM. If you control 5 or more category MBM characters, Bosch gains 5,000 power and brave. This is a very, very good card. On a 2 cost to when you have 5 or more characters, keep in mind, once again, in Final Fantasy, characters includes backups, monsters, and characters. So, and forwards. So as long as you have any combination of those in the number of 5, your Bosch is going to be a big boy for a 2-drop. If you could find a way to give this thing haste, it would be scary. And then discard 1 MBM character. Bosch gains 5,000 power till the end of turn. So on your turn, this thing is a 15,000. Like, that is a big, beefy boy. And he is going to do some serious damage to your opponent. Next, we have, in my opinion, the real all-star of this deck, Penelo. Penelo, in my opinion, is the best forward in this deck. She is a 3-cost MBM Dancer Sky Pirate. When Penelo enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 category MBM character among them to your hand, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. Pretty much everything in here with the exception of our summons. And these 2 Larsas are MBM characters, so you're almost always going to hit with this, which is kind of fantastic. And then you can dull 3 active category MBM characters. Your opponent selects 1 forward they control, put it into the break zone. Yes, it does kind of suck that your opponent is choosing the card they want to go into the break zone, but this is still a really good card, and it's still going to get stuff off the field. If your opponent only has 1 card on the field, that card is gone. Next, we have 3 copies of Fran. She is a Sky Pirate, 3 cost, 5,000 power. When Fran enters the field, choose 1 MBM forward other than Fran from your break zone and add it to your hand. And then for 2 lightning, you can play 1 Balthier from your hand onto the field. So this doesn't specify MBM Balthier. So you can play any of that card onto the field, which I think is really cool. Will this see play outside of an MBM deck? I highly doubt it. Its first effect is very much centered around this theme, which is completely okay. Next, we have 3 copies of Van. Van is a 4-cost, 8,000. 1 Van attacks, you may remove 3 category MBM characters in your break zone from the game. When you do, so activate Van, and Van gains. Van can attack twice in the same turn until the end of turn. And then discard 1 MBM card to draw 1 MBM character, draw 2 cards. You can only use the ability on your turn and once per turn. This is your game ender. This card can come down out of nowhere, and it can take out your opponent relatively quickly. You're attacking once for 8,000, and then you are you're removing the 3 category MBM characters, and then you're getting to attack again. This is such a strong card in this deck. And then being able to discard and draw 2 cards is always good. Drawing cards is always good no matter what card game you're playing. Next, we have 3 copies of Balthier. Balthier has haste. When Balthier attacks, choose 1 forward. If you control 5 or more category MBM characters, it gains haste until the end of turn. When a category MBM character you control attacks, choose 1 forward and dull it. These 2 combo so well together. You play this and then you drop this. It has haste. You're getting 3 attacks off in 1 turn. Dulling 3 forwards is really, really good. And then we have Nono. He's a 6-cost, 8,000. The cost required to cast Nono is reduced by 1 for each category MBM character you control. And then when No enters the field, choose one forward opponent controls and break it. So this deck does a little bit of everything. It lets you draw cards, lets you summon stuff for cheaper. It lets you search for what you need. It lets you break cards. It gives you big power. This deck is definitely a jack of all trades deck. And then going into our backups, we have 3 copies of Horn. Horn is a backup Moogle, 2-drop water backup. When Horn enters the field, if you control 3 or more category MBM characters, draw a card, and then put Horn into the break zone. Choose one category MBM forward. It gains plus 1,000 power till the end of turn. So this makes anything you want really big. You could pop this on Van, and then if you can give it haste with Balthier, and you can attack again, this is just really good. 3 copies of Sorbet. Sorbet is a 2-cost water backup. He serves as the Sid Kramer for this deck. When paying the cost to cast a category MBM card, if Sorbet is on the field, Sorbet can produce CP of any color. So this is really cool. All your forwards are in the same color category as what you would want. You're not really playing a lot of off-color things, mostly because the only off-color MBM cards are monsters. So then we are running 1 copy of Bakunami, 2-cost MBM standard unit, lightning forward, lightning backup. Put Bakunami, oh my gosh, these names, into the break zone. Choose 1 forward with a cost of 3 or less. Break it. You can only use the ability during your turn if you control 5 or more backups. So obviously, if you're in the late game, you have 5 backups. You can use it to pop a threat. Gives you more of an open chance to get off multiple attacks with your Vaughn. 3 copies of Herdy EX, 3-cost water backup. When Herdy enters the field, or when you take Herdy as damage, search for a category MBM forward and add it to your hand. 2 copies of Gertie. When Gertie enters the field, choose 1 category MBM in your break zone, add it to your hand. And then for a lightning and tapping, you can choose 1 for your opponent controls. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of MBM characters you control, break it and Gertie. This is just a really strong card. There's a lot of really good breaking cards in this deck, which is always something you want. 3 copies of Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc is a 4-cost backup. When Mont Blanc enters the field, you may play 1 category MBM character of cost 3 or less from your hand onto the field, and then you can tap him, discard 1 category MBM character, choose 1 forward, and deal it 4,000 damage. So all of these backups really, really work well with your Vaughn, letting you acquire the 3 category MBMs in your break zone to break to get a second attack off with Vaughn. And then rounding out, we have 2 copies of Larsa. This is from Opus 21, I believe. Oh, I did not mean to do that. When Larsa enters the field, you may search for 1 forward to cost 4 or more and add it to your hand. So you're going to get your Vaughns, your Balthier, your No. Lots of really good searching stuff here. We're running 6 monsters. We're running 3 copies of Vorpal Bunny. When the Vorpal Bunny enters the field, choose 1 forward of cost 3 or less opponent controls. Put the top card of your deck in the break zone. If the card put into the break zone is not a forward, break the chosen forward. That is also why we're running a little bit more backups than most of these MBM decks are, because I really want to pop this off with the Vorpal Bunny effect. And then if we can pay 0 until the end of turn, Vorpal Bunny also becomes a forward with 6,000 power. You can only use this ability once per turn. So this is really strong recursion. This is why we're running like 9 summons, 6 monsters, and 17 backups to increase our chances of popping something other than a forward off of this effect and breaking a rather big threat with a minimal card investment on our part. Vorpal Bunny only costs 2. Next, we're running 2 copies of Cluckatrice. I love this art. This art is freaking amazing. At the end of your turn, choose 1 forward you control, activate it, and then you can pay 0 until the end of turn. Cluckatrice also becomes a forward with 6,000 power. You can only use the ability once per turn. Again, this is just hilarious. Like, being able to activate one of your forwards at the end of turn is really cool, especially if it's like this big boy here, because he's gonna be 10,000 more than likely, so he's gonna be able to block some hits and tank some damage, which is really. Then we're running 1 copy of Alraster. I hope I pronounced that right. I definitely did not. If job done, so your control deals damage to a forward, damage is increased by 5,000 instead. And then we can make him into a 6,000 forward for the cost of 0, which is really good. He supplements his own effect, which is his own first effect, which is fantastic. Going into our summons, we have 3 copies of Kuchulin the Impure. This is from Opus 9, I believe. It's an EX burst, which is also really good. Choose 1 forward. It loses all abilities until the end of turn and draw a card. This is just really good. There's a lot of really good abilities out there that you can just turn off like that, which is fantastic. 3 copies of Leviathan. This is the Final Fantasy Explorers. I really wish they'd bring that game back. It was so much fun. If you cast Leviathan, you may remove 10 water cards from your break zone from the game as an extra cost. Choose 1 auto ability triggered from a forward. Cancels effect. If you paid the extra cost, you can return the forward to its owner's hand, which is a really strong effect. Canceling auto abilities is really good. 2 copies of Adramelech the Wroth. Before paying the cost to cast this card, you can remove 1 lightning backup you control from the game to reduce the cost required to cast them by 2. Deal 7,000 damage to all forward opponent controls, and then it deals yourself 1 damage. That is a fair play to take stuff down by 7,000. Really good card. And then 2 copies of the 9-cost Odin from Opus 23. But before paying the cost to cast Odin, you can remove 6 lightning cards in your break zone from the game to reduce the cost by 6. Choose 1 forward, break it. It is also a EX burst, so it's going to get that effect when you reveal it as damage as well. So in this deck, we have 8 EX bursts, which is a little, not a lot, but we're hopefully going to be able to do a lot with what we have on the field. So the EX bursts probably won't be as hurtful if we don't get them. Indoor limit breaks, we're running 2 copies of Leo. Leo is a 3-cost water limit break forward. 3,000 power. When he enters, you get to draw a card. Card draw is always good. 1 copy of Lightning. When Lightning enters the field, you can choose 1 Lightning summon from your break zone and add it to your hand. We have 5 options in here, which is really good. 1 copy of Cloud. 1 Cloud enters the field. Choose 1 forward of cost 3 or less and break it. Its ability is not really good here because we're not running any clouds. 2 copies of Titus. Limit break 3, cost of 5. When Titus enters the field, if you control 8 or more forwards and or backups, you may pay 3 water. When you do, select the 3 of the following actions. Choose 1 forward, put it at the bottom of its owner's deck. Choose 1 backup, put it on the top of the owner's deck, and draw 2 cards. And then 2 copies of our final MBM card in this set, Ash. Ash limit break is a 6 cost. You need lightning and water for it. Limit break of 2, so you flip the top 2 cards of your limit break deck face up. When Ash enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 category MBM character among them to your hand, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. At the beginning of the attack phase, during each of your turn, you may pay 1. When you do, play 1 category MBM character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand to the field. Now, that does not specify, pardon me, that does not specify forwards, chat. So you can drop backups with this. You can drop monsters with this. So lots of really good opportunities to use this card. I personally would probably run this at 3. I've seen a lot of decks running it at 2, so I'm just going to try it with 2. But this is just a very, very, very good card. So this is MBM. It is a very strong deck. All the cards work very well together, giving you a strong board presence, giving you strong attackers in Vaughn and Balthier to dull your opponent's characters. And then Adramal. It's just a very, very strong, very good deck that works together very nicely to attain your strategies. Being able to play stuff for cheaper is also really, really good, with being able to play the Balthier for cheaper, for 2 cheaper, 3 cheaper with Fran, being able to play stuff for cheaper with Ash. This is just a very, very strong deck. We've got great removal options in Vorpal Bunny and Bakam and Baknami. We have great removal options. We have solid removal options in Penelo. Then our limit break deck just really supplements what we're doing in the main deck very well. This is another deck that I'm very happy to build. I'm actually ordering the stuff to build this deck in real life, IRL, as the cool kids say, and I'm really excited to test it out. I will show you guys a real life the IRL deck list, and we'll get some games going IRL with it too. I'm really hoping to be able to start recording more Final Fantasy TCG games, because honestly, this deck is just so much fun. This game is just so much fun. But thank you guys for liking the video, following the channel, subscribing, whatever we call it over on the YouTubes. Don't forget to ding the notification bell if you want to be alerted to whenever we post any card game content. I'm going to be doing a lot of Final Fantasy TCG content because I really love this deck. Also, a video is going to be coming out next week how I feel that Square Enix of North America can make this deck more popular, because honestly, you'd be surprised how many people did not know that this series has a card game. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a really cool video. I'm really excited for it. Hopefully you guys will check that out. It's going to be coming out next week. Because honestly, this, in my opinion, is one of the best card games out there. I think it is so much fun to play. I think there's so many unique rules to this game that other card games don't have. And I think it's all just very, very good. But thank you guys for watching the video. If you want to check out my Category 8 video that I did earlier in the week, go check that out. If you want to check out our Riftbound band video talking about the bands that came out on Monday. Yeah, Monday. For Riftbound that were put into effect on Tuesday, go check that out. Also, if you like RPGs, Arrows Does RPGs is the place for you. Right now we're playing Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 13, Pokemon Scarlet, and Bravely Default. My last few weeks have been a little congested with everything else, so I haven't really posted anything there, but we are getting back on that. Actually, I believe the Final Fantasy 13 video is live as I'm recording this. Go over and check that out. And for any of your other gaming needs, go check out Arrows Gaming for all of the fun stuff over there. As always, friends, I will see you in the next one. Go play some card games. They are awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye.